Hey there, it's Dustin Wright.
With Austin Fletcher.
We're with Portfolio Commercial Group, and this is volume 16 of our portfolio newsletter. So Austin, we've got a few stories we can kick off. I'm going to take the first one, and that is we've got a huge challenge from another inflationary item really hitting us, affecting us in Texas, but in Dallas-Fort Worth, and it has to do with our electrical grid. We have seen prices increase in electricity, really affecting the average home consumer, which has really put a squish on our homeowners' affordability. And really, that's been the biggest challenge I would say we've had is our homeowners being able to just afford a monthly payment because their overall cost of goods and services have gone up. Now, in their defense, we've had a lot of restrictions on natural gas and oil production. We've had a lot of things kind of that needed to happen. Our electrical grid went down a couple years ago, if you guys remember that. So there's reasons why it's been more expensive to acquire electricity. I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed your own electricity bill's gone up specifically. So we're seeing that really squish affordability, but I don't think it's all bad news, right?
Right. I mean, we are seeing interest rates going down, and that's looking good.
You bet. And those interest rates going down obviously affects that affordability. And in fact, they're coming down so much, the Fed announced just a couple weeks ago that they're actually not going to raise interest rates next year, but in fact, they're going to be cutting interest rates next year. So we should see interest rates continue to start sliding and falling down, and that will produce about 20 to 25% home buyers bringing back to the market because now they can afford a mortgage again, right?
Right, and that's great.
Yeah, it's great news, right?
What does this mean for agents?
The main thing is agents will start seeing some of those buyers that have been holding off, but if they'll get back more active and go back to that pipeline that you've had for the last year and start contacting those people and seeing where they're at, make sure they understand how their affordability has really been impacted by the interest rates coming down and where we're likely to land.
So that brings us to our next story. Can you tell me what's going on with the trade with Mexico?
Yeah, so a lot of Chinese embargoes have really been put in place by the United States that have really slowed down manufacturing and logistics shipments happening. So what it's done is it's really encouraged a lot of US-based companies to start seeking out Mexico as another option for manufacturing specifically. So what does that mean? It means that industrial and warehousing has really grown in the commercial real estate sector here in the US, specifically in Texas, simply just because the massive amounts of trade that's now gone into place with Mexico. So we're seeing how many square feet now, Austin, at this point?
Over in the past year, it's almost been 80 million just already.
Yeah.
And with another 60 million on the horizon.
So we're seeing, you're gonna see tons and tons of warehousing space continue to be developed here in this area, which is gonna produce some massive growth. What does it really mean to us in the long run? That means every time there's new square footage going in, there's new tenants are new companies bring jobs, and jobs bring what?
More money.
More money, that's right. So we're gonna start buying more houses because we'll have more employees. So all of that really feeds and fuels into our economy in the long run. So that's what's really gonna mean to a lot of our residential partners out there in particular. So keep an eye on those continual developments coming. In fact, I think you had a couple specific stories of that economic growth, right?
Right, we see Blackstone, they had 1.5 million in square foot warehouse space acquired. Also, Carrollton has $1 billion transit coming.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that $1 billion going through the Carrollton area, up through Denton and Denton County, what that's going to do is produce a lot of roads, a lot of transportation options. And when that happens, all of that produces businesses, retail sector, which then produces housing developments around that to feed it, and ultimately brings more houses for sale, more job growth, more of everything. And so we have a lot of things on the docket that's just Dallas-Fort Worth specific, where we see a lot of growth happening and coming our way. So keep an eye out, especially for those of you who lived in the Metroplex a long time, more growth is happening. So that being said, Austin, thanks for jumping in on this one and joining us on this newsletter with us. We want to wish you guys a happy holidays. And remember, we want to be a part of your portfolio. Take care.